communities that are without power in the central Karoo have now also to contend with the heat wave. There are fears that many people will not have enough water to carry them through this week. Now, the Weather Service has warned that the heatwave conditions are likely going to last for the rest of the week. Eskom, meanwhile, promised to restore power by tomorrow. Just some background for you. Heavy storms in the area on the 3rd of February destroyed 7 pylons there. It left a whole range of surrounding areas without power. And, of course, without power, there's definitely going to be an impact on water supply as well, which is the case that we're seeing unfolding now. As always, gift of the givers coming to the party. Western Cape Project Manager Ali Sablay joins us this afternoon for a sense, Ali, of what the situation is in the central Karoo in a context where on Monday parts of the Karoo exceeded 40 degrees Celsius.
That's correct. Besides the crisis of water, as we know, when the electricity was cut off from these 8 towns in the Klein Karoo, many of the people had to dump their food. People got their pay grants. People just managed to do their monthly shopping. As we know, many of these people who are on the social grants, they work with budgets. And when the freak storm happened on Saturday, by Sunday, Monday, these people already sent out SOS messages to our teams with our urgent need of food items besides the water. Our teams, following the freak storm, the Monday thereafter, our teams immediately roll out bottles of water to clinics, hospitals, schools, and to the elderly people in the community. We then started the process of procuring food parcels, and as I'm speaking to you, our teams with the Department of Social Development are currently visiting these 8 crucial towns in delivering food hampers to those people identified. We are as well increasing our water distribution into farming areas that has not been assisted as yet, so the operation continues.
Ali, how many people would you say have been impacted by this?
Sure, it's thousands. As we know, it was the area of Laingsburg, Prince Albert, Klaastorm, Louis Gamka, Merewil, Maatjiesfontein, Fraserburg. So it's close, I can say easily close to over 100,000 people.
Sure.
We are very grateful to the Western Cape Disaster Risk Management team led by Mr. Colin Diner. We are having job meetings every day to ensure that there's not a humanitarian crisis growing. We had a meeting with Eskom was also this morning. They guaranteed tomorrow by 12 o'clock the power will be switched on. But even if the power goes on, these people, these vulnerable people, these poor people, even if the power goes on, they will be in the same situation as they have to wait for the next social grant for them to purchase items already. And we found many of the businesses have suffered already. Farmers have suffered already. The Western Cape Department of Agriculture has made subsidies available this morning to distribute to farmers to assist them to keep on going. We can confirm that there's been no interruption with schools and with medical facilities, as generators has been provided for them to keep these key institutions going.
So, I mean, let's just hope, I suppose, that deadline from Eskom is adhered to for 12 o'clock tomorrow. But as you say, Ali, the challenges certainly don't end there. Give to the givers as much as your organization is able to do. Is it fair to say, Ali, that, you can't handle on your own a disaster of this nature involving this many people? And would you say that the working hand in hand with your organization and government, local government, that has been yielding results?
The challenge is huge. It's 8 key towns, 8 huge towns.
Yeah.
And the cooperation from government from day one has been excellent. With these daily correspondence, 24 hours, our teams are working with their teams to ensure that the humanitarian assistance goes to the people. This can only work when there's hand-to-hand cooperation. And we found this from all the departments of government, whether it was infrastructure, traffic, police, health sector, education sector, who have been identifying and making it easier for us to allocate this humanitarian aid. They have also, with the assistance of the Department of Social Development, who has made more food parcels available. Gift of the Givers is assisting them logistically in terms of getting these food parcels into these rural areas to avoid any other further crisis. As we know, there was one unfortunate incident where a person managed to secure a generator, and they put on the generator in the house, and one person died of the fumes, one was critically in hospital. There is a concern from the Department of Health of an outbreak of diarrhea, but so far with the assistance of all departments in keeping people hydrated, giving them advice into sanitizing and to make sure the water and sanitation systems is up and running with the generators supplied by the Western Cape government to these municipalities. The first thing they connected was the water and sanitation department, because the worst thing that can happen besides this crisis is people getting ill.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a devastating story to learn that someone has now lost their lives as a result of trying to find a way to deal with this crisis. I mean, it goes without saying that there are particular institutions, particular parts of the community as well that will be perhaps even worse affected. I'm thinking about schools, hospitals, and of course, Ali, the elderly.
Most definitely. That's why the main priority when this crisis came to the fore was for our teams immediately to dispatch bottled water to these institutions. Of course, your hospitals, your clinics, your schools, old age homes, elderly people in the community. And we'd like to thank those people that has come on board to assist logistically and in terms of getting the good items, people like Red Rocket and MTN, who's come on board to ensure that there is people can charge their cell phone items. They made the cell phone stations available where community members who come to the community hall charge your phones for 2 to 3 hours, and in that way still have some connectivity. But the main concern now is to ensure that tomorrow, 12 o'clock, that electricity is being put on to avoid any further disaster. Yeah.
So, Ali, and all fingers crossed that does go according to plan by noon tomorrow afternoon. But if indeed, even if that does happen, as you say, a lot of people would have spent their social grants just as this disaster was unfolding on the 3rd of February, right? And they still have a whole sort of half a month to go before the next payment cycle kicks in. How long will Gift of the Givers be providing support to those communities that have been affected?
Our team has been deployed there for the last 2 weeks, so our team will be there till Saturday. We will ensure that all the recipients that has been identified by the Department of Social Development, that those that have been registered by their local municipalities, we will ensure that each and every family member, through the coordinated effort of Gift of the Givers, Department of Social Development, corporates, that these people at least have a food hamper to carry on until the next payday. And the main crucial thing at the moment is to ensure that those old age homes also, besides those that have registered for the social grants, we are supplying those old age homes that has been affected as well, where to dump their food items as well. We have supplied them with raw ingredients so they can keep the pot stirring until the next payday, until the next grant comes through. Yeah,
absolutely. Ali Sablay, let me thank you for your time this afternoon. Gift of the Givers, Western Cape project manager. So much hinges on Eskom meeting its own deadline of having those connections up and running by noon tomorrow afternoon. But it does appear with the addition of a heat wave that this problem is far from over. It's certainly a story that we're keeping our eyes on here on 405.